Welcome to the Real Review.
Welcome to Freakshow Radio. I'm Joel Cunningham. I'm here with
Matt Hay.
Thank you, Matt Hay.
The
for
one
that.
and only.
Yes, we are filling in, as we have been for the last couple of weeks, for Mario and Bobby on Freakshow Radio, and we were talking about films and television, mostly films.
Yeah.
It's our big kind of thing that we usually talk about.
Forte.
Yes, it's our forte.
Yes.
On our show, Real Review Media, our podcast, we do weekly, and we have fun with that. A little bit about this show. It's Mario and Bobby, Freakshow Radio. They have a website. If you'd like to check it out, d2lrev.com. They're always posting good things up there, show recordings and stuff and whatnot. Get connected to them. They do a lot of really fun, relevant, interesting concepts and topics dealing with life and Christian faith and mixture of different elements and stories and ideas, and they're always bringing in cool guests and stuff. So check them out. Matt, for our show, Real Review, why don't you give listeners ways to get connected to us if they'd like to do so?
Yeah, so if you want to kind of keep up to date on like movies and as they come out and reviews and what they're actually like and what we think of them, that's kind of get connected to what we do on our show. Real Review, the best way would be on our website, which is realreviewmedia.com. Real spelled R-E-E-L, like a film reel. Mm-hmm. And then you can connect with us through all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Real Review Media. You can email us at realreviewmedia@gmail.com. Also youtube.com/The Real Review. We post videos up on there. A lot of our podcasts, we actually do a vidcast version where we're actually there on camera for you to see on YouTube. So that's how you can do that, Jolie.
And maybe you don't want to, but you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get to watch us. We might not be people you want to see.
Yeah, it's true.
I think you are, but maybe not. No, I'm kidding.
Joel.
I'm shy. No, we are going to be continuing on with our coming soon coverage for this episode. This is our actually part 2, so if you didn't get a chance to listen to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Coming soon part 1. So we're going to do coming soon part 2, and these are covering some films that are going to be out a little bit further down the line. Some bigger ones, some smaller ones.
In the next couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah, for some folks. So let's start off with one that I'm not too sure what I think of. Darkest Minds.
Yeah. So this feels a lot like The Gifted, which is that TV series, this X-Men based like TV series, mutants, powers, kids, figuring it all out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look good to me.
Yeah. So this is, I think, definitely an attempt to once again go back into that wide audience, which has been very hit or miss. I think the couple successes that have definitely been there have been Hunger Games. Yeah. Harry Potter was the big first one to kind of set it off. Mm-hmm. And then, although Hunger Games kind of ended pretty rough to me.
Yeah.
And then a little bit with like the Death Maze type stuff.
Or
whatever. Sorry, not Death
Maze Runner.
Maze Runner type stuff, yeah.
Death Maze 2000.
Which it kind of is a death maze.
Yeah,
it's
true.
You die. So, the Maze Runner type stuff. Then they had a ton of misses with other different series. So, I don't know. This one, so synopsis for it: when teens mysteriously develop powerful new abilities, they are declared a threat by the government and detained. 16-year-old Ruby, one of the most powerful young people anyone has encountered, escapes her camp and joins a group of runaway teens seeking safe haven. It stars Amanda Stenberg, Mandy Moore, Bradley Whitford, Harris Dickinson, Patrick Gibson, and Gwendolyn Christie is in this as well. It really feels like an old antiquated. It's like, like, hey, remember when we used to do those YA films? Let's try and do that again and see if we can have something stick and catch on. Doesn't really have a lot of intrigue. It feels like X-Men Light.
Yeah, it does.
With kids.
Yeah. And it looks like they're going to be focusing a lot on the drama aspect of it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know.
The tween drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no. What do I do?
Does he like me because I have powers? Or
and it's like nobody ever really dies in these movies. Yeah. And if they do die, like Hunger Games was an exception, obviously. And I think that's one of the reasons why it excelled. I think YA films excel when they don't play the lowest common denominator, which is like overly romanticizing things,
Right.
making it like light versions of something.
Yeah.
It's dealing with young adults, but in adult settings. That's when YA is done right. Like that's Harry Potter. There's a lot of death and craziness and family drama and stuff. It doesn't sound fun, but yeah. So this one is like, it's romance and maybe and you can see people getting caught, but like never killed or anything like that. And if anybody dies, it's going to be like,
Right.
So, I don't know, melodrama.
Yeah, that's exactly what it seems
Best way
like.
of putting it. So, Jeremy, you said you were looking for this, right? Yeah.
My wife's going to drag me to this. But again, it just isn't that the exact X-Men storyline?
Pretty
they
much.
start to get powers.
Yeah.
The government
Steps in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically tells them like, hey, can't do that. And then everybody gets in big fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will either be really good or it's going to be really bad, and I'm kind of nervous it's going to be the really bad.
I think it's going to be pretty bad too.
Yeah, I'm don't have any high expectations for this
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's based on a book series even, because a lot of these tend to be based on book series and everything like that, but I don't know. Cool.
Yeah, I know.
Let's move on. Another one for younger audiences. This one's called Goodbye, Christopher Robin. It gives the synopsis for it. It gives a rare glimpse into the relationship between beloved children's author A.A. Milne and his son Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin and his family are swept up in the international success of the books, and then the enchanting tale brings hope and comfort to England after the First World War. But the eyes of the world are on Christopher Robin. What will the cost be to his family? So it actually is sort of a return to the world. It's almost like Hook in a way.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's Domhnall Gleeson, Margot Robbie, Kelly MacDonald, Alex Lothar, Geraldine Somerville, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The idea...
Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different... I've got the wrong one here.
You're looking at a different movie.
Goodbye, Christopher
Yeah,
Robin.
yeah. So what we're actually talking about is just called Christopher Robin.
Just Christopher Robin. Pulled the wrong one up here.
It's all good. So stars Ewan McGregor.
I totally read the wrong one. That was funny.
Directed by Mark
I
Forster.
was going with it, too.
Which is odd because I remember Mark Forster, who directed World War Z.
You know what actually tipped me off? I was like, Margot Robbie's not in it. I'm like, I usually know which one Margot Robbie's in. Sounds bad.
So this one is, the synopsis on this was, a working class family man, Christopher Robin, encounters his childhood friend Winnie the Pooh, which still has that Hook element.
Yeah.
And who helps him to rediscover the joys of life.
I was like, this is such a weird synopsis, too. I was about to redefine the synopsis with what's correct.
Haley Atwell, Ewan McGregor, Toby Jones, Jim Cummings, Brad Garrett, Peter Capaldi. This actually looks charming to me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it has some
it's
potential.
got Chris O'Dowd. And he's
Oh yeah.
very British.
But I think it looks like it could be pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Charming. It's got like the sweet elements kind of from the old school cartoons.
Yeah.
And I think it could be good. I'll probably take my kids to go see it.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm feeling.
It'll be
right
interesting to see because it's kind of like it's got vibes of like, is he imagining all these characters? Are they real? Is it, what direction are they gonna go with Winnie the Pooh? And it looks like they come into like sort of the real world. So I'm interested to see kind of the blending of stuff there. It seems like it's gonna be like a sweet, nice kind of kids movie.
Nothing crazy, but I think it'll be I think it'll be good.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Great one to take kids to, probably.
Yeah.
So let's move into something, now that I screwed that all up, let's move into something that's a little more friendly for adults.
Or just outrageousness.
Or outrageousness and ridiculous. I'm actually somewhat looking forward to this one. Yeah. So we're talking about a film called Meg.
Meg.
Yes, a deep-sea submersible, part of an international undersea observation program, has been attacked by a massive creature previously thought to be sink, and now lies disabled at the bottom of the deepest trench in the ocean with its crew trapped inside.
Yes.
Which I'm running out. Expert deep sea rescue diver Jason Statham is recruited to rescue them. And surprise, surprise, turns out that it's a big old shark.
Yep, the megalodon, the ancient prehistoric shark. My son is obsessed with right now, by the way. He's
really?
into all sharks, and he always liked the megalodon because it's huge.
Yes, I think if they could clone anything right now, it wouldn't be dinosaurs that would be super popular. It would be a giant shark.
Yeah,
probably.
Sharks are terrifying. I hate the ocean for the sake, like I like going to the beach and stuff and hanging out on the beach, but I hate the ocean, like just because it's like, there's stuff down there. It's like super, like, what is it, like 60% unexplored, like, or whatever by people.
Huge chunks of the ocean,
And so I'm like, I don't know what's there, it just freaks me out.
Yeah.
And, a giant shark, because it's a real thing from back in the day,
Yeah.
But I think this movie could be fun. I think this movie can be action-y, adventure-y, fun.
Yeah.
And probably not take itself too seriously. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting a little bit.
Yeah. It's not going to be like seriously dramatic like a Jaws.
I mean, they
type.
have Rainn Wilson in it, who's
Right.
cracking jokes.
Right, Rainn Wilson. And Jason Statham.
And it's John Turteltaub, who did the National Treasure franchise. Like, it's going to be similar, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so as well. And from all the trailers, they're definitely going with that kind of shock, like intense action, mixed with kind of ridiculous, over the top, tongue in cheek. But trailers can be so misleading these days. You know, I use this example all the time, but with a film like Cowboys vs. Aliens, you picture it's going to be ridiculous, tongue in cheek, silly, like, what's that alien doing drinking out of my water trough? You know, like that kind of idea.
That's what you thought it was.
That's what I thought it was going to be. So,
I
mean, because you got like these hillbilly hit guys encountering like sci-fi technology, like, yeah, look, I'm right on a space.
There's an alien in the water hole. There's a snake in my boots.
Exactly. Like, it's going to be. I thought it was going to be that, but it turned out to be this like really serious, dramatic attempt to like turn it into like, you know, like who they are and why they're there. And it's like, I didn't need that. So I'm hoping that with this one, they do more of like the just silly, like, there's a shark in my boots. There's a shark in my boat, I guess.
There are some really cool visuals in the trailer. I will say there's the one visual where there's a bunch of people in like the donut rafts and stuff like that in the inner tubes. And they're all just laying there and the shark's just like going right underneath them. And it looks super freaky.
And this one's big enough you can like literally swallow those donut things whole.
Yeah.
So, So I think it's been long enough, for the most part as well, between our last big shark fascination.
Yeah.
You know, because we had that period of time where it's like Sharknado and like...
Well, Sharknado is still kind of a thing. As long as it's better than that.
Right. It's still kind of a thing, but there was like all those shark, like straight to DVD sci-fi, to like the triple shark head, and Shark versus Giant Octopus, and
Mega Shark
versus Giant Octopus. Yeah, I mean, there were so many of those cheesy, silly shark movies coming out. And it's like Sharknado is still a thing, but we don't have shark.
I actually, a guilty pleasure movie of mine that I really like was Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah. Agreed. I thought it was better than I was expecting for sure. I mean, just the one scene with Samuel Jackson.
Which... We are not gonna die here today.
Dead. Yeah, that alone was great, but the whole movie had a fun style to it and its own. So again, reminder for those who are just tuning in, this is Freakshow Radio with Joel and Matt of Real Review. We're talking movies, and we're talking coming soon movies.
Yeah.
We just finished talking about Meg. I wanted to mention this other one coming up. I don't know if you've had a chance to look into this one at all, but it looks interesting to me.
What's that?
Captive State. Directed by Rupert Wyatt. It's a pretty simple synopsis, but it's set in Chicago neighborhood nearly a decade after an occupation by extraterrestrial force. Captive State explores lives on both sides of the conflict, the collaborators and dissidents. It's got John Goodman, Ashton Sanders, D.B. Sweeney, Vera Farmiga. I just think it just based upon like the few production images that they've sent out, that it's interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like it's taking a path that's similar to like District 9.
It's right up my alley, dude. This is like all the stuff that I will like go see if I don't, even if it's not good. It's like my jam, like post-apocalyptic sci-fi.
Agreed. Yeah. It's dealing with sort of showing the politics in a sense of an extraterrestrial invasion. It has inklings of Half-Life, like the video game, if you're familiar with that one. And I love John Goodman for the most part. I think he's a great actor.
What's interesting about this is Rupert Wyatt actually just signed on with Showtime to produce their highest budget TV show live action version of Halo.
Oh, okay.
That just happened. That goes into production later this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good... I don't think it's going to be a tie-in, but it definitely... There's a similar idea with Halo as far as like the end of the world being taken over by aliens. So I'm excited for it. I think it'll be pretty fun, an interesting ride.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Definitely something to keep an eye out for and check out when it comes out. There's also one called Replicas. I don't know if you read about that one at all.
I saw the trailer for it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? So this one, after his family members perish in an auto accident, a scientist becomes obsessed with finding a way to bring them back.
Trailer's odd, a little bit like a little cringy too. Like I'm not entirely sure. It looks very revengey as well. It
looks story-wise interesting to me, but the trailer looked really bad visually. There was some shots, and especially with some of the CG that looked really fake.
Yeah.
Like faker than I've seen in a really long time. It looked like something that would have come out like 10 years ago. And I was like, really? Like that's the best you can do?
Maybe they've been working on it because the first trailer came out months ago.
Yeah, I hope they did a little bit. It's got Keanu Reeves and he's playing a doctor, which is funny because as he's gotten older, it's gotten less ridiculous for me that he plays a doctor.
But you can tell what role he's really invested in.
Into it, I guess.
You know what role you can see what he's really invested in, and that's still John Wick, because all the new movies he's in that's not John Wick, he has the same hairstyle.
Still has the hairstyle, yeah. I mean, we'll have John Wick 3 at some point here soon.
That comes out next year.
Yeah. Yeah, for you. I'm like,
I love John Wick.
Yeah. I thought John Wick 2 was good, but we talked about it. But I don't know. It sounded like an interesting concept. He's trying to like basically bring his family back to life, and there's kind of ex machina type tendencies as well.
Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Didn't stop to think.
I didn't stop to think.
Think if you should.
I should. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Any interest? Kind of.
Maybe a little bit. We'll see more. I guess see more marketing. I haven't seen a lot lately, just for the first trailer.
Cool. Another one coming out. This one is more up your alley for sure.
I do like the horror genre.
Yes. A film called Slenderman.
The trailer's awful, dude.
Is it? I haven't seen the trailer actually for it.
The concept is cool, and they've been talking about doing a movie for a long time, but the trailer's not very good.
It's
a lot of Ring imagery. So it's a lot of like you know in the Ring videotape where you see like the bugs and the moth or the odd painting, the old lady, you know, like just stuff like that, like real quick flashes of things, but not really a lot of substance to it, not a lot of plot to it, which I don't know.
I mean, are you familiar with Slenderman at all? Have you seen any of that?
A little bit, and how awful it is because people actually take it seriously, and a lot of
kids took it seriously and stuff. It started as an online meme sort of a thing with like an image, and then they turned it into a video game, and then from there, like the video game became really popular, and because a lot of like YouTubers would go on and play it, and it's this kind of horror game where you're getting chased by this character Slenderman and trying to collect these papers, and it's a short game, but it's very effectively scary.
Okay, I've never played that.
It's nighttime. Okay. It's very visceral. When it gets close to you, like you get this like static effect and really freaky. And I think it just took on sort of its own thing and following. And then it's weird. I would have seen this movie come out maybe 2 years ago, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this just seems like something that was under development, a potential development for a while, and somebody finally capitalized on it.
It feels like to me like a January movie. That's the sense that I got from watching a January movie being like a movie that a studio will dump because they don't think it's going to be very good, and that's where they think they can make maybe a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. They're definitely trying to. I mean, it makes sense for them to make the movie. I think they're definitely trying to make a series out of it.
Right,
Slenderman 2, Slenderman Infinity. We'll move. So that'll maybe be more years when that finally does come out.
We'll see. Yeah.
One that I did have a chance to see the trailer for, which just recently got the full-length trailer for, was Predator. Yep. The Predator.
The Shane Black version.
Yes, the Shane Black version. Synopsis for this, in case you're not familiar with the original Predator, it's a sequel to that, where they're kind of basically saying no more, like none of the other sequels are actual sequels. This is the real sequel. From outer reaches of space, the small town streets of suburbia, to the small town streets of suburbia, the hunt comes home in Shane Black's explosive reinvention of the Predator series. It looks like what they're going with. So it's got Boyd Holbrook.
I love Boyd
Trevant
Holbrook.
Rose. Yeah, he's great. Jacob Tremblay, Keegan-Michael Kay, Olivia Munn, Sterling K. Brown.
Oh, Sterling K. I like him.
Yeah, it looks like what they're going for is, I can't even say what it compares to, but it looks like what they're saying is that people can kind of maybe become predators now.
What?
Like, I don't know if you've got that.
That's not the vibe
sense.
I got.
That's the vibe that I got from the trailer. Which is like the guy was like on the table, and then all of a sudden he like turns into a predator, and he like puts the helmet on, and I don't know if that was either they capture one and they put him into a thing, or you can turn into one. It looked cheesy though.
It looks average. Like I don't know. It wasn't exciting. It doesn't make me more excited to see it, and that's what the point of a trailer is supposed to do.
The cinematic style looked very like almost high-level sci-fi channel.
Right.
It looked like, okay, we just shot this on a weekend with some stuff.
What's up with that? It's weird.
I don't either.
They introduced the whole idea of having a super predator,
right? Which
is an interesting thing.
And that's the big thing now. It's like, well, and that just reeks of like pandering almost, of like, no, it's a super predator. I think because the way that it looks like it's being presented is this idea of like, now anybody can become a predator, But there's like super predators, which are like the actual high level predators
Right.
that create the predators.
The predators' bosses.
Yeah, and this whole universe of Predator and Alien is just getting so ridiculously overly complicated.
Yeah.
I love the day when it was just like, here's an alien thing and it wants to kill people.
Right.
Like, can't we just go back to
Yep.
that at some point?
Yep.
I'll probably see it though.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
gonna lie. I'm a big
Going to
Predator
see
fan.
it for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure Bobby and Mario will probably go see it as well. At least be interested. I know Bobby's a huge fan of Predator.
Yeah.
So
I liked 1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 is still the best.
1 is definitely by far the best one out there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big. Did you see any of the Predator versus Alien?
Yeah, I liked the first one kinda.
One with the pyramid that shapeshifts.
Yeah, the second one I didn't like at all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forget. I don't even remember it. Requiem is what it's called.
Yeah. Was that the one that took place in like the village?
It's like a no,
Not village or like
no.
the
It was like a neighborhood, or
like a
something.
neighborhood. It was like in a rural town though, right?
But you couldn't see anything. Yeah. It
was like really
yeah,
dark.
yeah.
They were picking that one as like a really good one because it was like R-rated, and the one I think the
one before it was a very audience friendly movie,
right.
and it did okay.
It got silly
Yeah.
because she like befriends the predator,
Right.
and you're like,
And then the high five at the end. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then like end scene.
and then it goes, and then the alien goes, and
Yeah.
shoots her in the heart. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really like that original one too much. Or
had fun.
the Alien vs Predator, the
Yeah.
original Predator, I liked a lot. So, so let's move into sort of the next big
Yeah.
other one. Marvel
Yeah.
is coming out with a film called Venom.
Yeah. Well, it's a Sony production.
Sorry, correct.
Yes.
Yes, being directed by Ruben Fleischer, Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Riz Ahmed, and Reed Scott.
As far as we know, this isn't tied into the MCU
Okay.
right now. There are whispers that Tom Holland might make a cameo, which would change the game. That would make it an MC tied to the MCU in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I'm excited. I thought the latest trailer was better than the first one we got because you actually see Venom.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I liked Tom Hardy. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like he's kind of got that role down a little bit, like the reporter kind of like quick talk, Eddie Brock thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to expect with this one yet.
Me neither.
The jury's still out. I think the trailer did good and bad things. So I'm kind of like left, well, where should I? I'm just trying to leave my opinions on the table at the moment, I think.
Right.
I don't even know if I want to actually watch any more trailers at this point because I probably will just to see if I can get some sense of maybe where the film's going to take us.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that Upgrade vibe too. And we were talking about that while we were talking about Upgrade. Remember, he's got like the Venom's talking to him in his head.
Yeah, exactly.
And like he's doing things he's not sure what's going on.
Yeah, and I wish I knew more of the comic history of Venom.
Me too. I don't know a ton about it.
I know he's strongly tied to the Spider-Man series, and I know that Venom takes on like a darker form even.
Yeah.
Which like Spider-Man's nemesis for a while was Venom.
Yeah.
But then at some point they kind of went like, oh well, we need like an even darker version. I forget what the character is that is like the darker version of Venom.
Carnage.
Yeah. And Carnage is really the understanding is that the symbiote
is a red one
space thing. Yeah. Attaches to a person, and then the internal mindset
symbiote
of the person, the symbiote. Is it symbiote?
It's symbiote.
Oh, symbiote. Okay.
It's the way that they were saying it, which people were up in arms about, was symbiote, is what people were saying.
Symbiote.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Symbiote.
All right.
Symbiote.
So the way that it connects to a person, though, is kind of the way that the Venom will be generally moving towards. Like it can't be controlled, but it can be guided.
Yeah. Like it makes him conflicted.
Right.
Like it's a confliction thing. I think that's going to be an interesting story.
Right. Whereas with Carnage, it takes over like a killer, crazy man that's been in jail, and because of that, Carnage ends up doing some really crazy bad stuff. And so,
so Venom's like an anti-hero.
Right. Yeah. So I'm wondering if Carnage is gonna pop up in this one too.
Maybe. I know they want to go that route eventually. I think they're just waiting to see what happens with this.
Yeah. I'm interested. I like Tom Hardy a lot, and I think he's a great actor. And even if the films that he's been in I don't enjoy, I'll usually enjoy his role in them. And so, and the other funny thing about this is Tom Hardy looks a ton like the star of the guy from Upgrade.
Logan Marshall Green,
Yeah. And so I was like almost thinking when I first saw the trailer for Upgrade, I was like, is that Tom Hardy in this?
Is
like,
this really Venom?
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a head-to-head comparison or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Too. So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up.
Do it.
that's kind of all of our talk for coming soon. I've really enjoyed being with you all. Again, a reminder, ways to get connected to this show, Freakshow Radio 1360 KPXQ. Go to d2lrev.com for all the shows and information. Our show is realreviewmedia.com. We'd love to connect with you there. Facebook.com/realreviewmedia. Send us an email, realreviewmedia@gmail.com. Matt, anything else?
No, that's it.
It's been real.
It's been real.